my perception about India was like that because I've never been there and I never met a real Indian in China.
They just remove your application. They don't even look at your app.
Yeah.
And you're just removed from, because I know I've applied Friday evening and Monday morning I have a rejection.
Are you single right now?
All right, we are live, guys, from the Journalism School podcast studio. First of all, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. And let's start with a quick round of introductions. Over to you, Ishika.
Okay, what all do you want us to say? I'm Ishika Hota.
Name, where you're from, what did you like about Northeastern, why you chose Northeastern, and how has your experience been here?
Okay, I'm Ishika Hota. I'm from India. And why Northeastern? I guess it's because of the faculty. I did my research. It was in one of the top schools. And when I was applying, I had decided that I'm not going to apply to any safety schools, just schools where I'm going to accept an offer. And yeah, and my experience has been great, worth it.
Mm-hmm. And you?
Hi, I'm Heather Wang, and I'm from Beijing, China. And this is my second semester at Northeastern. And why did I choose Northeastern? Like, honestly, probably because of the scholar. Because, like, Northeastern are really open to give scholarship to, like, you know, international students, which a lot of college don't want to do that. So, I mean, I want to save some money, and also because I want to do data journalism, and the data journalism program at Northeastern is pretty famous. So I talked to the professor and some alumni before I apply, and, you know, they all recommend me to go to the program, and a lot of previous students, formal students, they all land up pretty good jobs. So I was like, why not?
So for me, at least in India, growing up in like an Indian culture, not many Indian students take up journalism as a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how that is in China, but we are kind of like the outliers, because I remember that me and Oishika, we were the only two Indian students who were doing masters in journalism, MA in journalism, which has now been converted to a STEM course, which is attracting a lot more Asian students.
Well, this is so damn true. Also in China, I mean, we have been educated that you have to be an engineer, you're gonna do, be a doctor. That's why you earn money. Especially, I mean, the journalism industry in China is like so different in the U.S. So this is really a not normal. I don't want to say like quote unquote normal choice for Chinese students too. And I remember when I was in my undergrad, I went to University of Missouri for my undergrad. I was the only international student in the broadcasting program. I was the only Chinese, only Asian, not by East Asian, but the whole Asian, but including India. I was the only Asian in the broadcasting. I used to work for the broadcasting Missouri. I was the only Asian. I was a few people of color in the broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a pretty unique choice. And also, I mean, because our culture China and India, from my understanding, they share a lot of culture in common. Like, parents are usually very pushing, want to get their children to medical school or engineer
I'd say
school.
that like my family has been very supportive of me undertaking journalism, and I'm super grateful for that. Because I have spoken to so many Indian students who are like, I did not know why I'm enrolled in an engineering school other than the fact that my
Parents
family wanted
yeah.
me to,
I mean, I'm pretty lucky that way as well. When I was young, my parents were like, do whatever you want to, we'll support you in anything.
Yeah, kind of same in my family. But
yeah, my father's always just like, if you want to do something, just do it well. And if you do what you're passionate about, you don't have to worry about money. Money will follow you. So don't do anything for money, do it for passion.
That is so true. Very well said.
Yeah, I think probably, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think sort of the reason why our family is being very supportive is kind of, I think probably we're kind of privileged.
Of course,
from like upper or middle class family.
Yeah, definitely.
They have money to support you. If I from like a really lower income family, probably I would go to engineer school too. be a coder, it's not because I love it, because I want to, change the life.
Definitely, that's fair enough. And I think that's what we're grateful for. We're grateful for the privilege that we have,
Exactly.
that, we get to follow our passion.
Yeah. And what were like a few of the initial culture shocks that you experienced? Because I know that Asia is very different from the US, and even though we are used to watching US films, movies, TV series, being in the US for a long time, you get acquainted with the US pop culture in person for the first time. So how has that experience been?
Would you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I've been exposed to American media for a very, very long time. I can't remember when I was first exposed to it. I think I've just always been aware of what America is like. And of course, movies don't always show you a correct depiction, but the difference between, Americans seeing India in movies and us seeing America in movies is that Americans tend to show themselves in better light than they show India. And the thing is, Indian movies are not generally consumed by people worldwide. But if an American movie has people coming to India with that disgusting sepia filter they put over everything,
Yeah.
it's very sad how they show countries like the third world, the way they show the third world, right?
Yeah, I think it's all about the effort that people go through to understand a country, right? Because I feel like Indians, we are at least aware of the fact that like if you're making fun of Americans for something, we know that not the entire US is that way, right? We know that we are being ironic, or like this is satire.
Yeah.
But I think Americans are still stuck with the 1960s version of India. That thing, elephants on the road, snake
This
charm.
is so true.
Yeah, no, and the problem is, right, when you look at the world looks at America and America looks at the West. By America, I mean the West. The world looks at the West and the West looks at the West as, countries with a very nuanced political landscape, different kinds of people. But when they look at countries in Asia, or when they look at countries that are not generally spoken about as much, there's a couple of stereotypes they take, and that's all they think the country is.
Yeah.
And so the people suddenly in their minds are dumber. And you see that a lot of times when you're speaking to somebody who may not have, a good sense of the knowledge or the intelligence that you possess. And when they speak to you like you're stupid just because your accent is different.
This is so true. Like, honestly, this is pretty funny because my perception about India was literally like that, like what you just said before I met you guys. Because I learned from the movie. I saw people on the elephant, all the stuff.
Wait, what kind of movies have you been watching? I need to update your recommendations list.
Well, First, I love Indian movie. I love Bollywood. Probably Sweet Idiot is my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's probably my favorite Indian movie. And there's a lot others. I forgot the name, but like a father push his two daughter to do
Dangal.
Oh yeah. That movie is really inspiring too. So. Well, by the way, Indian movie has done a really good job recently. The Hollywood. Oh my God, there's so many great movies coming out. So, I mean, until I met you guys, my perception about India was like that. Because I've never been there. And I never met a real Indian in China. I never talked to one of them.
Yeah.
So, back to the point, the culture shock in the US, for me, I'm a little bit different because when I came to the US, I came to Missouri. Missouri and Boston are so different. It's like two different countries. So I was so overwhelmed. And Missouri is like super white state. And the small town I've been living is like 90% people are white. So for me, it's been a hard time to find a place for me. It's hard for me to fit in. So that's pretty the culture shock. And there's a lot of nuance. I'm pretty shocked. Like they drink ice water, something like that. And
even when it's like so cold here.
Exactly.
I mean, for me, the metric system was not a shock. I knew that like the metrics, like
That they don't follow the
yeah,
metric
that they
system.
don't follow the metric system here. But then like I still haven't been able to switch to Fahrenheit and miles, and
I don't even try actually. I
it's
look
the
at everything in Celsius and I'm like, you figure it out.
yeah,
I'm not
the
going to.
because I'm so used to the conversion.
If you're speaking to somebody who's American, you just do a quick Google search and you
Yeah.
convert it for
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to like I think get used to the system.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, I look at everything in miles now.
Oh yeah.
Because when I'm using Google Maps, I'm not looking at kilometers. Actually, again, to be fair, I look at everything in time. I'm 20 minutes away and not like 3 miles away.
That's a very Indian thing. I don't know if you guys do that in China.
But I
If
think
you
it's a
ask
very
some-
Boston thing as well.
Boston thing?
Yeah, people talk in time.
Like
Rather
what
than-
time?
Yeah, like I'm 20 minutes away. I'm so and so minutes away.
Like
Instead of
you-
like I'm
You won't say I'm 2 miles away. You'll
Yeah.
say I'm 20 minutes away from you.
yeah.
Oh, we say we're like 20 minutes away from you. Yeah, I remember why I got my like driver license at DMV. They asked me like how tall are you? How tall am I? And I was because we use centimeter, so I was like, oh, I'm like and they were like, what? I was like half feet. I was like, I have no idea what does feet mean.
Yeah.
I don't know, so I have to Google. So that's probably a culture shock, but yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on American food?
I don't think I felt the sweat so much because I grew up eating a lot of food that I've been eating here. I
Mhm.
think a couple of times I've been surprised by, if you pick up something that's pre-made from the grocery store and then you eat it and you're like, oh, this has no seasoning. So something like that. Yeah, but in general, I knew what to expect. If I want Indian food, I make it or I order. And I love food, don't get me wrong, but I'm not too picky about what I eat. So it's not been too much of a problem for me.
Okay, so I
Oh,
can.
but I'm so sorry to interrupt. But there are days when I miss like certain things
yeah.
that I know I cannot get here. And then those days get bad. I'm like, I don't know how to make this. I can't get the ingredients. And I know if I can't order this. I know no restaurant selling this. So, that gets bad. But apart
Okay.
from that, I'm pretty cool. Sorry.
Oh, you're totally good. I mean, like you, I'm not really picky too on food. I know a lot of my friends are really picky on food. I'm like, fine, I can eat everything. I can eat cold sandwich, I can eat salad, I can eat good Chinese food. I'm also a big fan of Indian food, so I'm not picky. But I gonna say, American, you guys gotta be more diverse on your diets. Like, come on, like
Pizzas, burgers,
I like-
French fries.
Exactly, because I'm not sure if this is kind of stereotype, but I live with 2 American roommates and used to live a bunch of American kids and in Missouri, and a lot of them don't know how to cook. For me, like according to my standard about cooking, they just make some cold salad, which I wasn't really a big fan. But right now, I sort of got used to like just eating American food. But like you, I also miss like Asian food. But
Right. So here, like one observation of mine has been that like it's access as well, right? Like let's say you want to grab something, like a quick bite to eat. What's cheap? McDonald's is cheap. Popeyes is cheap. Like all these sort of
Donuts,
fried
yeah.
and like all these sort of fried and junk food is what is like cheaper. And when you are a student, you want something that hits the mark between health and cheap, right? So I
mean,
think
to be fair, I don't care so much about health. I'll just I like bad greasy food, but
yeah, but like for how long will you be able to eat that?
that's fair enough. Yeah, I can't eat it every day.
Yeah.
But I was just like, health is not the first thing I mean, now recently I've been like, okay, I need to get my act together. And I've been thinking about eating healthy, but I don't eat out too much. So when I'm occasionally eating out and I'm spending money, so
true.
I either don't mind spending money because I'm eating out very less, and if I'm, if there's a crunch, then I'm just going. I don't mind eating something unhealthy either because it's not something I'm eating all the time.
Okay. Well, do you guys like make Indian food at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every day?
Almost.
Almost.
I mean, like the first year, I would say I used to buy frozen food for the most part.
From like Trader Joe or Target?
No, from the Indian store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Indian frozen food.
Yeah, Indian frozen food. I mean, For me, my first semester here, like the 4 month mark, at the 4 month mark, I was like, I can't do like, American food every day for like 2 meals a day. So I was like, no, I can't do that. I learned how to cook maybe from this year, from last year, 2023. This is 2024, guys.
So you don't cook in India?
No, I did not cook in India.
Like,
Yeah.
Neither did I. I mean,
Yeah.
I spent 1 year eating garbage food. I would just cook whatever. I didn't eat for like taste. I would eat for nutrition. So I just knew I had to stay alive. So I would just cook whatever and eat. But then this time I went to India for 3 months over the summer. And my mom was like, you know what? You're going to learn how to cook proper food and go back. And she taught me a couple of things. And not just a couple. She taught me quite a few things. And that got me excited for cooking. And so earlier on in the semester, I was cooking a lot and I was experimenting, and not just with Indian food, but with different kinds of food. And then the semester got really busy, and after that, now I have time. I'm unemployed. I do nothing, so I try.
All
cooking.
the unemployed people, give us a shout out in the comments.
well, I have a question actually about Indian food. Do you guys do you guys think there's a like a American Indian food? Like for me, like orange chicken is a really typical American like Chinese food. So is there a
Chicken
typical...
tikka masala.
Chicken tikka masala.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is American Indian food?
I mean, chicken tikka is a thing, but the tikka comes from like the
And-
way you cook it. It's not the masala.
And also naan bread, which is
Naan bread basically means bread.
Bread.
It's like chai tea. Chai tea means tea tea.
chai tea
oh.
latte, tea milk.
Wait,
Yeah.
what about the mango lassi?
Mango lassi is fine. That's
This is
what
my
that's-
favorite drink. Like mango lassi
Mango
is
lassi
the
is pretty
best.
cool. Yeah.
I love Indian
I
food.
agree.
My favorite is butter chicken. This is a real Indian food, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Butter chicken's real.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
They have butter chicken in Trader Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's, by the way, Trader Joe's frozen food. They have good Indian food.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I've never
especially
tried
they're
from
like
Trader
butter.
Joe's.
Do you
Yeah.
think that butter chicken Trader Joe is authentic?
Yeah, no. The food, the frozen food at Trader Joe's is pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, I love Trader Joe.
Every
too.
time I go, I first of all, I love Trader Joe's. I live like 5 minutes away from one. And so I'm always there. And every time I go, I grab something Indian to
God,
eat.
Trader Joe, Trader Joe
don't
has to
have
pay
the-
you. Again, not weird, right?
Yeah, no, Trader Joe, no, it doesn't have to pay him. They have to pay me.
yeah, right. Yeah, I love Trader Joe too.
Yeah.
I think I should like put like affiliate links in my description.
Your bio.
Yeah, but don't have Trader Joe's dal. That's not.
Okay, now I can't put Trader Joe's.
No, but don't have Trader Joe's dal. You can have the frozen food. Don't grab the dal.
Yeah, let's talk about the Northeastern co-op journey, or like, the application process, whether or not you got a co-op, because now we know that like the past year has been a bad market. Even now it's a bad market, right?
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, like you said, it's really competitive. I mean, Northeastern is famous for its co-op, but I mean, it really the co-op is really depends on the overall job market. You know what I'm saying? If the overall job market is like really down, even though you have the co-op, it's hard to find a job. It's hard to find a co-op because if you find a co-op, probably co-op would not give you a return offer. They just want to enter for 3 months. They don't really want a permanent like employee. They don't have the budget. So
That's what happened with me, by the way.
right? So they didn't.
They were like, we are not hiring full time.
Oh, so they just want to enter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense for the company because a lot of companies they have the top budget, but they also at a certain time they really need someone. But they don't want to hire a full-time employee. They're like, okay, let's find a sort of cheap labor. Where's the cheap labor? All the college students, because a lot of them were like, oh, I want to do it in here. I want to put it on my resume, even though this is like no pay. I'm going to do that. So that's a reality. So I've heard a lot of students cannot find a co-op. I think that it's not really their problem. It's not really the co-op system problem. It's just the job market is so competitive. A lot of companies just closed the window. They froze the recruiting window. So what can we do? And I talk about the co-op. sort of get an offer in Singapore over the summer, and thanks to the referral from Professor Matt, he's the best. But
Shout out.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they will give me the return offer, or this is also a big decision for me because Singapore is another country too. So
I did not do a co-op. I went to India, so I did an internship at home instead. Searching for jobs, I think it's the same thing, right? It's a bad market, and an international student looking for journalism jobs is also, it's not easy because it's not a
Please,
field.
thank you. Because like all my friends, not all my friends, a lot of people have this misconception that like, yaar, aapka field to easy hoga. That like, your field might be easier because you have lesser applicants. So you guys might not be that it might not be that competitive for you. So sorry,
But
go
it's
ahead.
also competitive. I mean, fewer applicants doesn't mean that it's not competitive because you have few applicants, but these are great applicants, and there are also fewer positions, right? So you're it's the small group fighting for a smaller group of open positions, and it's difficult because a lot of times when you apply, you get that one question, right? That very poorly worded question: will you now or in the future need sponsorship? And the question is, will you now or in the future? And a lot of applications don't have another question. So some do, but a lot of them don't have another question asking you if you can work right now. And that's a problem, right? Because if you tick that, they just remove your application. They don't even look at your application.
automatically, yeah.
Yeah. And you're just removed from, because I know I've applied Friday evening and Monday morning I have a rejection. And sometimes when you do LinkedIn Easy Apply, you can tell when they viewed your application. So you can tell these people have not viewed my application. They've just chucked it out because because the only thing stopping me
Need a visa.
is that I need a visa.
This
Yeah.
is so cruel. Yeah, but it's so true.
And the saddest part is I don't actually want them to sponsor my visa because I want to use my 3 years of OPT and go back to India.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but then I can't say no because in
Yeah.
case I
Yeah.
change my mind, in
You have
case
to be
they want to
honest,
keep,
yeah.
I can't be lying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, if you just want to working under your OPT, I actually have probably a potential opportunity for you. I can talk you later
Okay,
about
thank
the
you.
tech target. It just never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
But yeah,
hard.
the visa situation is difficult. I mean, like with me, it's also the same thing, right? Like with me, I have I know that like I want to work in the US for 3 years, but then I don't plan that ahead. I don't plan that far ahead. So I know that like right now is when I would like to work in the US, and like I don't have plans of like settling in the US. That's way too ahead for me.
True.
So I don't even know if I want a green card. That is like or an H1B.
Me too. Kind of same. It's like we cannot plan that further
Yeah.
as a foreigner. You know what I'm saying? Like especially for Chinese and India, if you want a green card, basically you are trapped. You are trapped by the system. You have to wait for such a long fucking time. I'm so sorry about language, but I was thinking to apply for green card, but then I realized, do I really want to sacrifice that much for just a green card? Do I really need that? I don't know, because for us, you're gonna wait for, oh my god, over 100 years.
Yep. Okay, let us talk about something positive.
For the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. Let's end on a positive note, right?
Fair enough.
What's the best experience you guys have had in the US so far?
I don't think there's like one thing. There's a couple of things that have been like great for me. My
What stands out? Like,
moving in with my friends was great. Like moving in with them has been, it's been one of the best things that has happened to me here. I wake up every day and I'm happy with my house. I'm happy with my roommates. They're like, living with your friends can be great, if you're lucky.
yeah.
If it matches in terms of like living together. And being editor of the Global Observer was great. That was a good time, good learning experience. And yeah, just I think being able to see new places. Last year, I visited 5 new cities.
Mm,
And
That's
so,
nice.
yeah, that's been great.
amazing.
Well, kind of same, because I I'm so grateful that I met a bunch of great people back to my undergrad, and we live together, and we all have different background, and they're American, they're Korean, they're Chinese American, they're white American, they're black people. We all live together in the same house and mixed gender. So like during my senior year, me and my roommate, we always talk all night, just like because we all grew up in different city, we all have so different background, like so different cultural background. So I think the really greatest thing for me is like I'm the US and I'm really engaged with the society here, with the community here. I'm not like sticking with Chinese community all the all the time, because I mean you already spend so much, right? You always
Explore,
spend like
yeah.
millions of yuan Chinese currency. Your parents sent you to the US. Why do you still want to stick with the same community you were? So I mean, it's really engage with the US culture, engage with the community, engage with you guys. I never met
Yeah.
a real Indian.
Real
Like,
Indian.
you know what I'm saying? Well, have
Yeah,
you guys
not
met real
Indian
Chinese
Americans.
in India? Have you really talked to them?
I have
mean,
not.
I don't want to
Me
say real
personally, I have not.
Chinese.
I mean, a person from
Like
China.
Yeah, person-
Chinese, not like Indian Chinese.
There's no Indian Chinese people. I mean, I don't think there are any Indian Chinese people. No, I hadn't met anybody who was from China till I came here. And that's, of course, like meeting people from different cultures has been one of the highlights of my time in the US.
Exactly.
Definitely.
You guys know that I'm like super interested in India. I told you guys, like
Yeah.
I'm really, and I know I don't want to be ego, but I think compared to, you know, other Chinese people on average, I know much more about India than others. So
Yeah, Indians love to speak about ourselves and our culture.
right, but the thing is, Indian government just cancel the visitor visa for Chinese citizens. I don't know why, so I cannot go to India.
Oh
I
no,
was
we know why.
planning.
It's because of the conflict at the border with China.
Yeah, exactly. So
Stop attacking us.
Yeah, I mean, every time China
Whatever.
releases a map, the
Yeah.
little more of India's gone. But
No hate towards people from China, just
Yeah.
the government.
yeah, I totally understand. But like, well, so I mean, there's so many conflict around the world, but I'm so happy we stick together.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we still have some time. So, okay. Would you guys have any questions for me?
Are you single right now? Just asking for the audience. Probably there's some.
What do you think?
I think you are.
Yeah, you are right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Probably no, a green card marriage is not a bad thing. Just saying.
All right. Let's end on that. A good positive note,
Positive.
that I
Yeah.
am single.
Oh.
So, yeah,
Wow.
let's see.